Peace. Welcome to Food for Thought Fridays. And today I have a special guest, lovely Kattina. And the reason why I'm interviewing you, Kattina, because an intention that we have in Food for Thoughts is to inspire, motivate, and educate through insights and experience. And I feel like your story can really tap into somebody's heart who may have a passion, an idea, a vision that they want to manifest, but they're not as courageous as you are. They're not as disciplined and focused as you are. So I really feel like people hearing your story can change people's lives.
Okay.
And when I first met Kattina, she was living with her sister, and she had all these pieces of paper all around her with sketches on them. And I'm like, what's that? And she was talking about how she's going to come out with her own swimwear line. And in my mind, I'm like, swimwear? So, lo and behold, her swimwear line that she later on manifested, those scraps, those pieces of paper, ended up not only creating her own fashion show, but then ended up being in Sports Illustrated magazine. So I just wanted to ask you, first and foremost, why swimwear?
Well, that's a long story, but to make it short, prior to this vision of wanting to have my own swimwear line, I was in marketing and advertising. And I worked for a swimwear company where I was marketing director, and I fell in love with the idea of swimwear and the way that it was crafted and the way that it could be such a small piece of fabric but unique in the same way, and also getting to know the needs of a woman and how I could help her achieve the best look that she wanted through swimwear, which is much more personal than lingerie. So you're actually exposing yourself to the public, so you want to look your best. So I just, out of my mouth, said to my boss, one day I'll have my own swimwear line. And then it just started to develop 4 years later, but it didn't actually become a reality until 7 years later. So.
Wow. So it was a 7-year process that you stayed committed to.
Yeah.
Wow. And what would you say are 3 success tools or principles that you used during that process?
Well, number one, you absolutely have to believe in yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader, because if you sit around, wait for people to root for you and encourage you and clap you on to a journey that you belong to, it's not going to happen. You have to really, truly believe in yourself to get the job done.
Wow.
Number 2, you can never give up on a dream or a passion that you have. You see it in your mind, know it can be achieved. And so I never thought that it wouldn't happen, because I had already made up my mind that it was going to. So I didn't have a long-term plan after that. I just knew it was something that I wanted to accomplish, and I was going to make it work, under any circumstance. And then number 3 is just, faith.
Wow.
Just having faith in what you're doing, and it kind of ties back into believing in yourself and never giving up.
Yeah.
If you have a faith-based system, whether it's spiritual, religious, or what have you, you know that you can accomplish anything. So those are my principles, basically.
And what was your biggest challenge or adversity that you faced during the process?
Oh, wow. There was a lot of business challenges. Of course, I wouldn't say of course because no one knows this, but I launched my collection in a volatile market with which was in 2008. And anyone in business knows like what was going on, or just if you pay attention to economics period, you know like the market was crashing that year in the worst way that we had ever experienced in our lifetime. So 3 months after launching, you were at my show, so you know what
That's
that
right.
was.
Yeah.
You know, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
But the market started to change, and there was a lot of volatility that we didn't expect to happen, and we had to change our business model. And I was met with a lot of challenges in that respect, and we had to change directions of how we were going to do business from traditional distribution to more of a personal, customized business model that would bring the consumer to the business, as opposed to the business bringing its model to the consumer. We had to reverse that. So, and it's challenging. And also, if you're going to get into this particular industry, you have to know that it's not all glamour and glitz, and fashion is a business. And you have to have the right things in place to make it successful beyond the runway. And so those were some of the challenges that I faced.
Wow. What comes to mind, and tell me if this makes sense, like I once read that the most important quality to our survival is adaptation.
Right.
And that's what I got from what you shared. You know, you had the economic decline, and you had to switch, so you had to adapt.
Right.
So you didn't quit, which is one of your success tools, but you had to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, for anyone who's in their home right now, you know, with a notebook and they're sketching, or just, you know, they have this idea, this dream that they want to manifest.
Right.
What would you say to those people?
Be clear about your vision. You know, it's one thing to sit and create, but what are you going to do with that piece once it's done? Understand that there is another side to just producing. You have to understand whether or not you're going to sell it. What's your goal? Do you plan to make money from this? And if you are, do you know the market that you're working in? Do you understand the competition? Do you understand what it takes to move in volatile times based on your market? Like, there's so much you need to learn. I didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to have a swimwear line. I actually did the work. I applied to FIT 3 times before I got accepted. And that was coming from a marketing background where at the end of that career I was a media buyer. So having absolutely no connection to that industry, I knew nothing. So I didn't just want to have a swimwear line, I wanted to have an understanding of the business and how it worked. So I got accepted into FIT finally for fashion merchandising and management, but I also landed a job in corporate fashion working for Liz Claiborne, DKNY. I ended up having a long career in the fashion industry, working for a lot of well-known brands and doing operations and honing skills excuse me, that would benefit me in my business. So if you're going to be an artist, also have the backbone in the business part of it too, so that you're not taken advantage of. You can create and also be savvy in how to make money with what you're doing and make money with your passion. That's my advice.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, there you have it. Kattina, thank you so much
You're
for your
welcome.
time. You know, this is where we get a chance to have a conversation with everyday giants doing extraordinary things. So thank you for tuning in to Food for Thought.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.